What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Kandi and the Gang Season 1, Episode number 2, you guys. The episode was titled Family Recipe for Disaster. Now, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not subscribed to the channel, I'm going to need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your notifications, and also sharing the video. And you guys, with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Kandi and the Gang, shall we? Alright, guys, so this episode, like I said last week, we were not introduced to all the cast members. So we are introduced to two more cast members this week. We are introduced to Patrick. I'm going to put Patrick on the screen somewhere. I don't know where. We're introduced to Patrick. Patrick is 28 years old. Patrick is the parking lot manager. He's also Kandi's cousin and her godson, right? And he is also Aunt Bertha's grandson. And then we're also introduced to Melvin. Now, we saw Melvin in last week's episode, especially when the power went out. So Melvin is 30 years old. Melvin is also Kandi's cousin. Now, we did see Melvin on Real Housewives of Atlanta at one point, right? So Melvin is 30. He's also Aunt Bertha's grandson as well, right? So he and Patrick, they live together. They're like brothers, right? They're not brothers. Their mother and their father are brother and sister, right? So they grew up together, kind of like with me and my cousins, right? I have some cousins that we grew up together. My mom's baby sister, her kids and I are around the same age, and we grew up together, so we're like brother and sister, right? So Melvin, like I said, Melvin is 30. He's the kitchen manager. Kandi feels that Todd is really hard on Melvin, and when you see some of those clips of him and Melvin, yeah, Todd, you can be a little bit hard on Melvin, right? At one point, Todd was about to say he was a big boy, and I was like, he called himself before he said it, right? So yeah, Patrick, he the parking lot of OLG, right? His apartment is right behind OLG. I was like, so he just wakes up, goes to work, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, we were introduced to those two. Let's talk about Patrick real quick. So Patrick has a girlfriend. Her name is Safari, right? Patrick is a reformed Casanova, a retired Casanova, right? And Melvin is the teddy bear of the family, and they're dynamic with each other. I liked it, right? I liked it. So now we're gonna move over and we're gonna talk about Dom and what's his name? Brandon, right? So Dom, you remember last week's episode that Brandon asked Dom out on a date, right? Well, this week we see that date between Dom and Brandon. They both look really nice on their date, right? Both look really, really good. So they sit down and he's asking Dom, like, what are your goals, right? Do you want to open up a dance studio? She says, no, I want to go on tour, right? And she says she wants to dance for Beyonce. I'm like, hey, B, y'all know I love me some Beyonce. She wants to dance for Beyonce. And, she's talking about the fact that, she was part of the Dungeon tour, right? I was like, oh, okay, girl, you was there. Now, I did have tickets to the Dungeon party in Dallas. I didn't go because I couldn't. Oh my God! So the night of the Dungeon tour in Dallas, right? It was, and see, maybe I should have rode the train there. I drove my car. It's in downtown. It was in downtown Dallas, right? And if you know anything about downtown Dallas, it is hard to find anywhere to park. And then the one area that I did find to park, it was a long ass walk, and I was like, fuck no, I am not about to walk this far to the party. Because there was a lot of people at that party in Dallas. It was a whole lot of people there, right? So Dom asked Brandon, what do you want from me, right? And he says he wants to date her, right? She says, that'll be a little bit complicated, right? With the workplace dynamic. And I'm glad Dom said that, right? I've never dated anyone that I worked with. And now I have had, little situationships with people that I worked with. And the thing is, it doesn't end bad because if you set the rules up front, nobody can get hurt, right? And that's what happened. And actually, the situationships from my jobs have led to friendships, lifelong friendships, right? So the thing that I died laughing about with Dom and Brandon was the fact that they showed that package of Kandi and Todd. I was like, y'all really had to show that package of Kandi and Todd to show. I was like, what is that supposed to show, right? I didn't understand what that was supposed to show, but hey, they showed that package of Kandi and Todd. So we're going to pause here, you guys, and we're going to move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, we see Chandrika and Dom. So they're over to Torrance apartment, right? I was actually with Chandrika and Dom when they saw that little charcuterie that Torrance had set up for them. They were like, "What is this?" I was with Chandrika. That's for rabbits. You want me to eat some celery, look like some salami and some pepperoni and some cheese? Where's the food? Where are the chicken wings? Where are the French fries? Where's the mac and cheese? It ain't got to be big, but I need something else besides this, cause I'm gonna be hungry. That the dog that Dom brought, that would be finger food for him, not for my grown ass, right? So I think it was Chandrika who asked. I think it was Chandrika. She asked Torrin, did he get paid? They were talking about the reunion. They asked him, did he get paid? He said he didn't. I said, you didn't. So you did that for free? You did that for free? Ew. We gonna talk about Kandi and his work relationship in just a minute, because I got it. I got some questions, girl. I got some questions. So, Torrin said that Don Juan wants him back at OLG, right? Does he really? Because at the end of the episode, he was okay. We'll get there. Y'all gotta run me. I'm sorry, but if I did something like that, now I kind of get it, right? Because you're filming the show, right? So with this, you already got paid for the show. You're getting paid for. I guess they're getting paid for the show. I don't know, right? But you're getting paid, and then with this being on television, that's basically free publicity for you, right? So I guess I can kind of see it, right? So now they're talking to him about coming back to OLG, and they're talking about Philip. Now, I don't like when people do this, right? This is something that I don't rock with. If I don't know a person and you've had dealings with the person, granted, if you had good dealings with the person or bad dealings with the person, don't tell me what your interaction with the person is, right? I mean, you can tell me what your interaction has been with that person, but I'm not going to listen to it, right? Because I'm the type of person, because I've had that happen where people are like, oh, you probably ain't going to like so-and-so, but you might like this person, right? And I've had that happen in workplaces. Like you might not like that person, but you might like this person, right? And I don't listen to that. I'm like, okay, thank you for giving me the heads up, right? But let me form my opinion of this person, right? Your interactions with that person might not be my actually, and I can give you guys a specific example of that. When I used to work at a bank here in my hometown, Tyler, there's this bank called Southside Bank, right? And it was a department full of women. I was actually the only male in the department, right? So I trained with one girl, right? And she did this to me. She did this. She was like, "Oh, steer clear of." There was actually I can say her name, but they don't watch my channel, and I ain't saw them in years. It's been over 10 years since I worked there, right? She said, "Steer clear of Danielle," right? And I was like, "Why?" She's like, "Yeah, just kind of." And then one day I sat with her, and they had me train with both she and the girl Danielle, right? And I was like, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, she said steer clear, but I'm like, she's cool as fuck, right? Her and another girl named Elizabeth. Now Elizabeth is friends with me on Facebook, but I don't post this on Facebook, so she wouldn't see it. They were like, yeah, steer clear of Danielle and Elizabeth. And I was like, okay. And actually, the Elizabeth girl and I we got really, really cool. Like we talk to each other all the time. Like she became she was a good friend of mine. And I was just like, okay. They were like, but then I finally realized what it was. It was, they were clashing. They had a dynamic. They were clashing, and it wasn't a good clash because it was a whole lot of workplace drama in that department. And I was like, oh no, oh no. But yeah, like they're talking to Torrin about Philip, and I'm just like, let Torrin go meet Philip for himself. Let Torrin decide if that's a personality he can work with or he's going to clash with, right? I just didn't appreciate Dom and Chandrika talking about Philip like that, right? And it ain't because I like Philip, but it's just I just didn't appreciate that, right? So then Torrin asks Dom, "Are you dating?" She says, "Yes, I'm dating," right? And Chandrika's like, "Is that what you call it?" I was like, "Is that what you call it?" So I guess everybody in OLG has hooked up with somebody, right? Oh my God, not ass crack. Oh, baby, you don't realize that your whole ass is hanging out? Oh God. I just happened to turn around and look, and there was somebody's ass crack in my face. Um, what was I talking about? So yeah, I guess everybody at OLG has kind of hooked up with each other, right? Because what's his name? Torrance said he had hooked up with somebody, and Chandra was like, "Yeah, I know." We're gonna talk about that in a little bit as well, you guys. Um, we're gonna pause here, you guys, and keep going. All right, you guys. Next up, let's. Okay, I don't want to be shady or no shit like that, but Aunt Bertha, and I love Aunt Bertha and Aunt Nora, but Aunt Bertha, who did your makeup? Because it's right here. It's all orangey, reddish, like it looks like you went and got plasma done, and they just left the plasma on your face. Again, I ain't trying to be shady or no shit like that, but it just, who did your makeup? It's not the best, right? So Melvin went over to his grandmother's house, right? And while he's there, Kandi calls him on FaceTime and they're talking, right? So we find out a little bit more about Melvin and Kandi, right? So Melvin went to culinary school, right? And Todd's like, "You paid for it?" She's like, I didn't pay for everything, Todd. I didn't pay for everything. And when Melvin started out at the restaurant, he started out as a dishwasher. And he just worked his way up. Okay. So Kandi is calling because, my cousin Kim used to work at the restaurant, and she was a manager, but she said that my mama had cussed her out. Kandi, I believe your cousin when she said that your mama cussed her out. I believe her when she said Mama Joyce cussed her out. And then we'll get into that too, right? So I just feel that we should get the family together so that we can do an intervention, because this is just ridiculous. We really gotta be close together. I get it, Keith. You and your family gotta be close, right? It's interesting to me, right? The fact that Kandi employs a lot of her family, because bitch, I could never. I love well, I couldn't even employ half of my family, right? I could not employ half of my family because I have a very huge family. And I was on Kandi's live, and she was talking about, I think she said on Mama Joyce's side, there were 14 kids. Okay, your grandmother had more kids than my grandmother did, right? My grandmother had 12, right? My mama, my Uncle George, my Aunt Bobby, my Aunt Dot, the twins, my pawpaw. Yes, my pawpaw. I said my mom and my pawpaw, right? And I was adopted within my family, you guys, so don't go there. My Uncle Bobo, Uncle Carl, Uncle Mickey, and Vicky. Also, it's 11. It was 11. My grandmother had 11 kids. My grandmother had 11 kids. My aunt, I have an aunt, my Aunt Goldie. My Aunt Goldie had 12, or she had 13. Because Aunt Goldie got two sets of twins. Girl, how did you push two twins out of your? But so yeah, I can employ half of my family. Can even employ half of my family if I wanted to, because every side, especially on my grandmother's side, that is just so huge. My big mama, her kids, their kids, like I really couldn't, because I think at one point when we had a family reunion for my great great grandmother when she was living. Actually, it was her birthday party. They tallied up. This is '06, and my family has grown since '06. My grandmother, my she's my great great grandmother. She had over 100 great grandchildren, right? So yeah, I can even employ half of my damn family if I wanted to. But I commend Kandi, right? You wanna be there to help your family, right? I get that. And I'm not gonna come down on her for that. Like, I get that. It could just be it could be a kind of a gray line when it comes to family, because you don't know what you'll get with family, right? Because family can either be a help to you, or they could try to use you and run over you, right? But I don't see that with Kandi's family. I mean, I do see that some of them could be a little bit lazy, but I don't think that they're gonna run over her, right? So back to the notes, right? So yeah, Kim quit OLG because Mama Joyce cussed her out. Like I said, I absolutely believe the fact that Kim got cussed out, right? I and also Kim is Aunt Bertha's daughter. So then we move over and we see Brian. He's at OLG, right? And I fell in love with Brian in this episode for sure. Because Brian's personality is so infectious. It's like if I was in Atlanta and I was to hang out with any of the cast, Brian would be number one person that I would want to hang out and just have a good time with, because Brian can make you laugh, right? Brian, as much as I'm giving you a compliment, right? The rug that's on your head, let's throw that in the trash. It's not cute. It's quite ugly. Just saying. Not being shady, but a little bit, right? It's ugly, right? So, he was so he's back and he's gonna be serving the tables, right? So Chandrika, they were like, go talk to Philip, right? So he says, he tells Philip, he typically works upstairs and downstairs, and Philip like, I'll take you over there to your section, right? I just want Philip to smile. That's all I want from Philip, is just a smile. Smile, just just a little bit, right? So, Philip asked Brian what brought him back. He says the change. He says, oh, you mean me? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, he says, right? I don't know if you're a good addition or a subtraction to this, but the changes brought me back, right? So Brian was told that he went over to that one table and, he told the ladies, he asked the ladies, what did they want? He said, write it down. And he walked off. He says, nah, I'm playing. And his saying is, hold your mule, right? I love Brian. Brian is going to be a fan. I think Brian is going to be a fan favorite, right? Brian is definitely a fan favorite because I fucks with Brian. I like Brian. Brian is cool. So we found out a little bit more about Brian, right? So Brian was the bartender, right? But I don't know if Brian thinks that being behind the bar is going to be good for him right now, because Brian said that in 2020, when the pandemic first hit, that, he realized that, he had a problem with drinking. I'm not going to say he was an alcoholic. He didn't say that, so I'm not going to say it, but he had a problem with drinking, right? And, he stopped drinking. He's sober. I'm like, okay, Brian, I commend you, right? So then we see Chandrika. So Chandrika invites, everyone out for drinks right after they get off of work, right? Philip says, you guys are going out to drink? They were like, yeah. They were like, do you go out? He says, no, not with you. I don't necessarily, and here's when I think about it now, I'm kind of wondering, was he joking, right? Because when I first watched the episode last night, I rewatched again this morning. When I first watched the episode, I was like, damn, Philip, that was kind of rude, right? But then I also had to think to myself, like with me, like I have a dry sense of humor, right? I have a very, very dry sense of humor. Like my friends laugh at some of the shit you guys laugh at shit that I say on here, right? And I'd be like, I didn't find that funny, right? So I was wondering if maybe he was joking and he just has a dry sense of humor. He doesn't laugh at stuff that he says. And I'm starting to think that now maybe he just has a dry sense of humor. I'm wondering that, right? But hey, we're going to pause here, you guys, and we're going to keep going, you guys. So next up, Philip. Oh, God. So I know last week a lot of people were questioning if Philip was gay. I kind of knew Philip was gay. I just didn't want to say it on the camera, but I figured he was. Then I watched Kandi speak on it last week. It was her and Don Juan at first. Then it was her, Don Juan, and Philip, right? Now I didn't watch the whole thing. What I did was I commented on her in her comment section, right? And I asked if Philip had a social media. And I believe that's Jamie that responds to me, right? Because Jamie has responded to a lot of my comments on Kandi's YouTube channel, right? She responded to that. She responded to me asking a few weeks ago, asking the week of Kandi and the Gang episode 1, where they're going to have a speak on it. She said, yes, speak on it was coming back. Anytime I say hey to Kandi in the comments, she speaks back. So I'm pretty sure that that's Jamie, right? That's responding. Pretty positive that that's Jamie, right? So I clicked on the link. I went over to Philip's Instagram, followed Philip, but then I noticed we had a lot of people in common that we both follow, and I was like, oh, yeah. He's kind of, yep. I'm like, yep, he is. So Philip has a boyfriend named Philippe. They've been together about a year. It was interesting. I mean, I could never date someone whose name is anywhere near close to mine. Like, I just could not. Could not, right? Could not. My first name is Gerald, right? So I don't want anything with G-E-R or J-E-R anywhere in your name. Ja, absolutely not. I don't want it, right? So Felipe is from Brazil, right? So they have a long distance relationship, and also, let me see where we at. They have a long distance relationship. Now I will say though that the pictures of that they showed us of Felipe, him in person and him in his pictures look a little bit different. Not too different, but they look different, right? Philip's mom, she passed away about a year ago, so my condolences to that, right? They also have a long distance relationship. So Philip lives in Atlanta. Felipe is in Brazil. So the door is open. All right, you guys. So then we move over and we have the crew. So they go out for drinks, right? So it's Chandrika, it's Brian, it's Torin, it's Richard, it's Dom, it's Brandon, and it's Patrick. So Melvin didn't join them, and neither did Philip, right? So Brian, he is a key man. I love Brian. So Brian told us that him and Torin did a tug and pull with each other, right? And his dick is too big. I'm not being shady or nothing, but I thought that I would have pegged that Torin was a whole ass bottom. Just saying, I would have thought he was a bottom, right? So we also find out that old girl, what on was it? I'm gonna take that back. Cause I couldn't think of her name for a minute. Chandrika. We found out that Chandrika and Patrick had hooked up with each other, right? They had a situationship for about 4 months. She said he was inexperienced, and she's been engaged with her guy for 2 years. I'm like, ooh, 2 years, right? Who's dragging their feet? Is it you or is it him? Because somebody is dragging their feet at 2 years, right? Brian cracks me up, you guys, because when Brandon came out, Brandon, kind of like how Tiana Taylor's character did on in that Medea movie with Byron. But yeah. So Patrick is calling Safari a cougar. Patrick is 28 years old. Dom said, boy, stop calling that girl a cougar. You are 28. She is 30, about to be 30. That is not a cougar. And I was like, isn't Chandrika 30 as well? So I guess you consider Chandrika a cougar. So then they start talking about OLG, and they talking about how the food on Wednesday might not be the same taste that you get on Saturday. I was like, are you serious? Why are you doing this to me? Oh my God. Like, y'all are really making me not want to go to OLG. Y'all are so making me not want to go to OLG when I go to Atlanta. But I'm going to go. I'm going to go and check it out because I'm curious. I know that menu is high as fuck. Because I looked at the menu last week and I'm like, God damn, this motherfucker is high. Jesus the Christ. Y'all got prices like fucking Vegas. The fuck? But Chandrika then starts talking about how, as a hostess, she makes $12 an hour, and she's like, I could have went and worked at Family Dollar. They make $17.50. Is that a manager that makes $17.50 at Family Dollar? Because a cashier at McDonald's. I mean, why do I keep wanting to say McDonald's? A cashier at Family Dollar makes $17.50. Girl, I know you lying. Then she's talking about the minimum. Oh, that is a big ass bird. That is a buzzard. Damn, that thing is huge. Okay. I keep getting distracted today. That is a big fucking bird. Back to the show. $17.50. She said that the minimum wage in Atlanta is it flew away. She said that the minimum wage in Atlanta is $15 an hour. I'm like, really? When did it go up? Because the Republicans have been fighting for that for a minute now. But my thing with Chandrika is, if they pay you $12 an hour, they pay you $12 too much, right? Because you're late to work and you come in with a stank ass attitude. So they pay you a little bit too much for what you don't do. Let's just keep it there. So we're gonna pause here, you guys, and we're gonna wrap up the episode. All right, you guys. Next up is intervention, right? Oh God, this shit was hilarious. Oh my God. So you got to see Kandi's cousin Weenie. I was wondering, I'm like, where's Weenie? We ain't saw Weenie in a long time, right? So it's Kandi, it's Weenie, it's Kim, it's Aunt Bertha, Aunt Nora, and Mama Joyce, right? So you guys remember I told you that Kim said she quit OLG because Mama Joyce cussed her out, right? And I believe it. I literally believe Kim. So Kim went to her phone. I thought Kim had recorded the message, right? No, Kim said it's on Facebook. I said not Facebook. I was done when that girl said Facebook. Because y'all know older people love them some Facebook. The older people love them some Facebook. Child, I died laughing when one woman said Facebook. So Mama Joyce said that they called her saying that they were walking out. And she said, so y'all gonna walk out after how Kandi took care of y'all? Then go ahead and walk out, right? So Kim said that she told them to get out of her motherfucking kitchen. She said get out of her kitchen and get out of her motherfucking kitchen. Mama Joyce said, I ain't never said that because that ain't my kitchen. She says, well, that's what you said. Get out of my motherfucking kitchen. Mama Joyce then said, I never said that was my damn kitchen or that was my motherfucking kitchen. She kept saying, she kept repeating. She said, I ain't never said that that's my motherfucking kitchen. That ain't my motherfucking kitchen. I ain't never said that it's my motherfucking kitchen. And Aunt Bertha was like, stop cussing. It was hilarious. I cracked up. She said, I don't even consider that my motherfucking restaurant. That ain't my damn restaurant. I'm like, Mama Joyce, you kind of making me believe what Kim is saying because you've said it more than once that ain't your motherfucking kitchen. That ain't your motherfucking restaurant. Kim, I believe you, baby. I believe you. I believe that Mama Joyce definitely. Let's just go back to the footage when Mama Joyce cussed Karma out. Mama Joyce cussed Karma out. I believe Kim. Mama Joyce definitely said that was her motherfucking kitchen in her motherfucking restaurant. I believe it. I definitely believe it. So then Kandi says, well, Kim, I had an issue because they told me that when you was trying to leave, that you asked them who's coming with me, so that you was trying to take other people with you to the other restaurant. So Kim says, I never said that. As much as I believe Kim about Mama Joyce saying that that's her motherfucking restaurant, Kim, I do believe that you tried to take some of Kandi's people with you. I believe it. So, Aunt Nora's over there rolling her eyes. And Kim was like, see, and Aunt Nora over there, and she wasn't even there. Well, I'm just going off of what Joyce told me. The OLGs, they remind me so much of my aunts and my grandmother. They remind me so much of my family. And you guys know I'm from the South. I'm from Texas. So they literally, the way that they talk, the way that they act, it just reminds me of my mom, my grandmother, my aunts. Because actually, my mom is the same age as my mom would be the same age as Aunt Nora. If my mom were living, she would be 81 right now. Her birthday is in September. She would be 82 on her birthday, right? But my mom would be 82. She was the oldest of her siblings. My mom would be 82 this year. My uncle that was up under her, he would be 81 coming up on his birthday whenever, I can't remember when his birthday is. But then the rest of my aunts and uncles are in their 70s and 60s, right? The younger ones are in their early to mid 60s, right? I think. I can't remember how old my Aunt Vicky is. But I know she's got to be, I don't know. I actually don't know how old my Aunt Vicky is. But they're all up there in age, right? So they all remind me, so the OLGs literally remind me of my family. So Kim had it. So Aunt Nora was rolling her eyes. Like I said, she rolled her eyes at Kim so many times. So her and Kim got into it. Aunt Nora's, I'll throw you down like I did before. Oh, these old ladies are a trip. And Kim is like this with her hands. I'm like, Kim, you are not finna sit here and try to fight your 82-year-old aunt. I was like, oh, it was a mess, but I was so here for it. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was a trip to me, right? So they they ended it. They called it, and Aunt Bertha was like, I think y'all should hug. Too soon, Mama. Yeah, it's too soon. She needs to stay away from me. I was like, oh my god. It was hilarious to me. That shit was funty. Funty as the hell, right? So after that, Mama Joyce was like, I bought some sandwiches and some chicken wings. Baby, when Aunt Bertha ran for that goddamn chicken wing and you just saw them eating that food, and Kandi and Weenie busted out laughing because she's like, they were just about to fight each other and now they over there eating some chicken wings. Oh, this show is comedy gold for me. Like, I love this show. And I want you guys, we got to get these ratings up for Kandi and the Game because the show is really good, right? It's really, really, really good. The staff, the aunts, the everything is just so good to me, right? So then we move back over to OLG and we see Kandi. She's talking to Patrick, right? So Patrick is informing her of what happened when they went out, right? Patrick is telling her about how some of the people were talking about the food and the pay. And I was with Kandi, right? Chandrika, if you got an issue with your pay, come talk to us. But Chandrika can't go and talk to them about her pay because Chandrika don't do, Chandrika, girl, you're late. Like, what job are you going to go on and you late every day, you rude to the customers, there are... oh, there are reviews about you, right? I'm laughing because there's a review about me on Hertz when I used to work at Hertz, and someone actually took a picture of me and posted it. You guys can Google if you guys want to see it. Google Hertz Plano. If it's still, I know the location that I worked at, it caught on fire. But Google Hertz Plano, Texas. You might see me. And if you see me, just let me know. But somebody, actually, they wrote a review about me, and they were mad because of a car. Baby, I can't build a car. I can't build a car. But I was a good employee, right? I was a great employee. I never really had too many complaints. But Chandrika, you're late to work. You're rude. Like, that's like you going to your boss and saying, okay, if they have a year in review with you, do you think they're going to give you a raise with negative reviews? Late to work. So yeah, Chandrika can't go to Kandi because Chandrika knows she won't get a raise at all. So then we see Torrin and he's back, right? So he's gonna go to this space where he's gonna be decorating, right? Don Juan is hesitant about him being back, right? Because of the way he quit, right? He quit because of COVID. But then Don Juan said they saw him on Instagram and he was out with no mask on, right? And I do remember, I was, like I said, I was in there live, and I do know they've had some issues with the restaurant, and I think it's the same with most restaurants in general with the pandemic. A lot of people were taking these jobs so that they could quit the job and then get unemployment, right? So I get that, right? So I get why they probably have lost a lot of people during the pandemic. People come in and say, hey, I want to work for you. Then they work maybe a week or two, and after that, they're like, oh, guess what? I'm about to quit and try to draw unemployment from you guys, right? Because of the pandemic, right? So I get it. Now, in this scene with Torrin and Philip, I'm on both of them. I'm on both sides, right? Because Philip, it's Philip's tone when he talks to people, right? But then I was on Philip's side with Torrin, because Torrin came in there, he didn't really speak to him, and then when Philip was talking to him, he was bent down. Like when I have a conversation with someone, I prefer to look them in their face, right? Let me know whose side you guys are on. I can see both sides of that coin, right? Because it's I can see both sides of that coin, but they were definitely shady towards one another, right? But that's the episode, you guys. Please let me know what you guys thought about this episode of Kandi and the Gang. Leave the comments, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, share the video, and until the next time, you guys stay safe out there. Please take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, you guys socially distance, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.